Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at New York Department of Health issuing a new regulation for PFAS, chemicals in drinking water. In Albany, New York, Wednesday, the New York Department of Health issued proposed regulations for 23 PFA chemicals in drinking water. What did they say? PFA substances are chemicals that have been widely used in fabric, waterproofing, nonstick cookware, and other applications. The proposed regulations would essentially set new drinking water standards and require public water systems to reduce the level of toxic chemicals. But some environmental advocates don't think these regulations are enough. The proposals fall short of what's actually needed to protect public health, says Robert Hayes, Director of Clean Water for Environmental Advocates in New York. Hayes added that instead of limiting the amount of PFA chemicals in drinking water, they need to be eliminated altogether. He said there's a long list of health risks that come with the exposure of PFA chemicals, including thyroid disease, preeclampsia, and testicular and kidney cancer. And the more we learn about these PFAs, the more dangerous that we realize they are. That's why it's so essential to get these chemicals completely out of our drinking water, to set drinking water limits as close to zero as possible, he said. So we can see that they're taking some action right here. And that's a good idea. Now, this actually came from the New York Department of Health new regulations for PFAS drinking water, which is good to see. We can also take a look at that. So we can see the New York Department of Health, they've issued new regulations for PFA chemicals. And what they're doing here is they're coming up with some new regulations. The more they've learned about it, the more it's an issue. And this is where this first came up. The problem is that just setting regulations for the amount of PFA chemicals in drinking water now isn't necessarily going to make it safe, because it's still in water and it's still in most major urban areas. So when it comes to forever chemicals, it's something we need to be diligent on and something that we need to realize, because it can cause cancer, can cause other problems, and can make us sick. As he said, instead of limiting the amount of PFAs in drinking water, they need to be eliminated altogether. There's a long list of health risks that come with exposure to PFAs, and there's no safe amount of PFA in your water. That's why it's always a good idea to have your water tested for forever chemicals, even though the Department of Health is putting regulations to try and limit them.